Thomas Merton has a book written in the depths of solitude entitled Bread in the Desert, and it is an echo of today's gospel. The people are in the wilderness and have no means of sustenance. Again, they are repeating the experience of the centuries, notably that of the Exodus, when people had little on the human level and became aware of their need and their dependence on a higher power. The farmer, the poor man, is better placed than the rich man, the businessman. They work hand in hand with Providence on an hourly basis and have a grateful soul for small blessings which they cannot take for granted. But Thomas Merton is working on a higher level. The soul passing through time, the soul in solitude in particular, is completely dependent on the invisible and the forces that inhabit it. And in that solitude, a word gives sustenance. We remember that Thomas Merton was still living in a time when words were words. Writing a book meant writing a book, or at the very most, typing a book. And in solitude, telephones and certainly smartphones did not exist. So the word came from the page and from the prayer. And the words that Providence allowed to come from his pen still speak, because they repeat his experience and his graced moments. And we need to select the words that come into our soul. Lent is about to begin. We are feasting today at St. Scholastica, who is a model for holy virgins, specifically in the Benedictine life. And in the rule of her brother, St. Benedict, we have the regular reading. The abbot distributes a chosen book for each one in the community, and there is a regular time for its reading. And it has to be read from one cover to the other in the course of the 40 days. And it will, if it's read in the presence of God, do something for the soul in those 40 days. Bread in the desert. We have forgotten how to take up a book and read it. Tolle legge, said the angel to Augustine in the garden. Take up and read, take up and read. It was actually carved into the amber in our Benedictine church in Cardiff. And the word changed Augustine's life. The word that he took, it was, give no thought for the flesh. And he abandoned all that was chaining him down, but that word became what he is, a great saint and doctor of the church. Thomas Merton too had an experience which was very similar, when he asked for a word and opened the scriptures and it fell upon, you will be silent, unable to speak. And he took it as an indication of the divine will and became a Trappist. And from his deep Trappist silence came the experience of the word, which through Abbot Fox, who later inhabited his own cell, was allowed to be heard and is still heard. With regard to St. Scholastica, these were people who were not complicated, because life was less complicated. And still on the Holy Mount of Monte Cassino, she is to be found. She lived at its base, and he lived at its summit. and they met shortly before she died, and he saw her soul going to heaven as a dove, and they are buried next to each other. They put her there close to where he was to be put, and according to tradition, part at least of their body is still there to this day, in a part which was low enough underground in the crypt not to be damaged by the bombardment and the war. It is a quiet place, and in a quiet place, the quiet one is more easily met. Questa festa di Santa Scolastica ci colloca nell'esperienza del deserto, l'esperienza del Vangelo stesso, in cui Gesù si mette all'opera in maniera divina, creando materia ex nihilo, questo pane. I santi dei secoli hanno sperimentato questa potenza perché è un miracolo che si rivede spesso nella storia dei santi, una provvidenza miracolosa in questo senso. Anche oggi ci sono testimonianze su YouTube su questo punto, e non soltanto di pane, ma anche di vestiti, in Africa per esempio. Però l'esperienza del monaco è che ha bisogno nel deserto non soltanto di pane fisico, ma anche di pane per l'anima. E il deserto rende l'anima più semplice, e dunque la parola diventa veramente un sostegno. Nel mondo dell'artificialità, della molteplicità delle parole di oggi, c'è poco spazio per una sola parola. L'anima è perpetuamente bombardata e la parola ha perso la sua forza. Invece nel vacuo del deserto una parola va lontano e va coltivata. Chiediamo questa grazia di saper già nella lezione divina quotidiana sostenersi dalla parola divina, sapendo che Dio usa la parola scritta nella misura in cui l'anima la desidera. La recettività crea la possibilità per lo Spirito Santo di operare, e dunque una sete, una fame sono richieste, e anche una recettività fisica, anche fisicamente, a ginocchio davanti al Santissimo con una Bibbia aperta, fa che Dio ha uno spazio sacro in cui può operare. Invece, se la vita nostra è fatta solo di parole e di parole e ancora di parole, senza profondità, la parola ha ben poco di effetto.
Immaculata Vergine Bella,